Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, it got me thinking recently when I saw a recent article on customer satisfaction with cruise lines right now. And it's hard to argue with the cruise lines the way they're going, but will it turn around to bite them in the behind in the long run? So as we all know, the pandemic was really hard on the cruise lines. They got no financial aid from any country, anywhere. They had to finance their own things, putting their own ships up as collateral. If they couldn't get back to sailing, they would have lost all their ships, etc. And so they were hard hit, right? Well, that seems to have recovered, right? I mean, 2025, if you're looking for cruises right now, you will see they're 70% sold out. The cabins are 70% sold out, and we're in January of the year. The rest of the year, 70% sold out. So, yeah, it is really busy now. 2024 was gangbusters. All the cruise lines came out with huge profits. And so it's kind of hard to argue with, hey, they're doing it right, they're making a lot of money, except one thing I've noticed. I've noticed recently that the customer satisfaction with the cruise lines is dropping. And that can be concerning. And a lot of the reasons is first of all, the high cost of cruising right now. If you compare it to, say, 2023, you're easily spending $2,000 more than you were back then on any cabin that you book. It's pretty obvious that's happening. And the cruise line CEOs are actually coming out and saying they're kind of proud of this, that they're being able to charge all this money for their cruises and they're selling out. Except they're also doing something else. They're also starting to try and charge us for a lot more things, right? A lot of upsell, a lot of upcharge. Not to mention when they raise some things like gratuities and service fees on board for, how many times now have we reported out that, well, the cruise line used to give you room service for free. Well, now they're charging you for room service. And that's all because of food waste, right? It's just food waste. That's why they're doing it. It's to cut back on the food waste. It's not to increase profits. It's kind of to increase profits, let's face it. Things on board have also been, when you get on board and you're enjoying your cruise, if you look at all of the events during the day, how many of them are to places that want to sell you things? We have a special jewelry event going on. We have a special Meet the Shoppers thing. We have a special $10 item sale. Come get your chains. Come to the photo gallery for a special. Have a camera tour. Check out the photography. Check out, etc., etc. It all seems to be upcharge, and they seem to be constantly doing it. I've been in a restaurant where I'm sitting there enjoying my restaurant and somebody's coming around. Now, a couple times they come around and they're saying, hey, we have this special on lobster tonight. Would you like to upgrade to this huge lobster for this amount of money? That's at least fitting with where I am. I'm at least in the dining hall, right? And they're serving, they want to say, hey, do you want to upgrade to this meal? However, I've also been on the same cruise, like a different cruise, and the person came up to me and wanted to sell me a future cruise credit while I'm eating. That has nothing to do with where I am. I'm trying to enjoy a meal, and now some salesperson's coming up trying to sell me something. That's what that felt like. That felt like me opening the door and somebody saying, hi, have you seen these brushes? These are amazing brushes. Or, hey, Kirby vacuum. You know what I mean? Like, it just cheapens the whole experience. Not only that, we've seen huge cutbacks cutbacks have also come in the form of staff members. Norwegian Cruise Line in 2022 announced in December that they were cutting 9% of the shoreside workforce. Carnival has cut over 1,400 jobs from their cruise line company, and people are starting to notice these changes. They've also cut back in some places in entertainment. They're no longer doing as many events on board for entertainment. They're no longer, Norwegian has cut back dramatically on their big Broadway show productions. However, I was really glad to see that Beetlejuice was one of the shows being announced for one of their most recent ships. At least that's a step back in the tradition of a Broadway show kind of thing. So I was happy to see that. But then the next one was going to be Prince. A much simpler show to put on. So we'll see what happens with the entertainment, but they cut back a lot of shows. Over 7 Broadway shows were cut from their schedule in 2023. And people are also noticing, hey, they no longer do 2 turndown services like they used to. Now they only do 1. And so those poor staff attendants that are doing your rooms were doing, say, 12 cabins before. Now they're doing between 18 to 20. And you say, well, yeah, but now they don't have to do a turndown service. But it was much easier to schedule, right? If you had to turn to 2 services a day, in the morning they would go clean the rooms. In the night they would come back to the same rooms, and it would be a much less cleaning thing. Usually there's not a lot of, you don't have to do the beds. Not everyone took a nap in the afternoon. There's not room service and buffet trays all over the place. It's a much quicker. If you have full stateroom cleaning every day and you're only doing it once a day, and people, when you go there, people are still there. Now you have to try and get back to them later on. They just seem very overworked. How many times now also have you gone to a bar and it seems like it takes forever to get a drink because the bar is so crowded and they don't have enough staff to man the bar? That also seems to be happening a lot. Slower service in dining. Not as many people working in the dining rooms, etc. Buffet. Not as many people servicing the buffets. It just seems to be cut back and cut back, which may look really good for the cruise lines for the bottom line. But how much is that going to affect customer satisfaction? I've been reading a lot of customer reviews lately on different cruise lines, and a lot of them are saying the same thing. The service has really gone downhill, not because of the staff's, like how they're treating people or anything like that. It's that there's not enough of them. And so long waits. I've recently been on a couple Princess cruise ships, and the room service comes zoom really quickly. But then when I go and order a drink on the app, it can take 45 minutes to an hour for that drink to show up, if it shows up at all sometimes. So it's a real hit and miss situation. So I'm wondering to the cruise lines, are they taking advantage by the high prices and the cutbacks right now, and people are taking it? But at some point people are going to go, you know what? The service just isn't there right now. The food just isn't there right now. The price is way up. You know what? That all-inclusive resort is looking much better now, and much cheaper, and not as competitive. Cruise lines used to outprice all-inclusives all the time, and it's not so much anymore. In fact, cruise lines are becoming more expensive than those all-inclusive resorts that include all the drinks, all the entertainment, and all the food with multiple restaurants to eat from. Is this going to come back to haunt the cruise lines? Let me know in the comments. Have you noticed a stark decline in customer satisfaction? Have you been on a cruise where the service they're trying their best, but it's slow, or they just seem overworked, and the staff just doesn't seem as happy as they should be? Because I've seen it on my cruises, and I am a crew member supporter. I'm also a guest customer satisfaction supporter, and having to wait 45 to 50 minutes just to get a drink, that should be unacceptable. Well, let me know in the comments down below, and until next time, I hope you liked this video. You did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.